Well, the Lakers did exactly what I feared they would do. They went into game one, played like dog crap, and completely gave this game away after the second quarter. And we lost home court advantage, right? How you doing, Lakers family? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap. I had to compose myself, punch something real quick. Lakers lose 117 to 95 in what was an embarrassing effort play game. The only real run we made was when Ant got hurt. And I'm disgusted by the energy and the effort, man. Credit to the Timberwolves. They dominated us from basically the second quarter on. We really lost the game in the third quarter when they went on. They went up by so much. It was just insurmountable. There was no way we were going to catch up. I knew it right then and there. They walked into our house. First of all, I'd like to critique the fans that sit in the front. They don't wear the T-shirts that are given out to the public so that everybody can look like a playoff crowd in unison. So I don't blame them for the loss, but man, we got to get some real Laker fans up in the front rows, because those fans right there, man, just because they pay a pretty penny for the ticket, they're not bringing that energy. It's really easy for the opposition. I didn't have Stanley Johnson come through and let us know that it's really easy for the opposition to get comfortable and feel like they're right at home when there's no real passionate fan environment. And I guess, that's the downside of it, of having those rich fans pay for the front row seats. I'm not talking about the celebrities. I'm talking about the rich fans, the lawyers, the doctors, the ones that just want to go and, business associate people. They just want to go and sit there and look pretty. No, it's the playoffs, man. We need some goddamn energy. So, I hope eventually we start filling out those mid to lower seats with some real fans. Damn it. Rui was awful. DFS awful. Reaves not good. Tough to watch. LeBron was awful too. He picked it up towards the end, but he was also awful as well, man. Let's go ahead and bring up the stats. It was just a horrible game for us, man, all the way around. Luka played great offensively. Didn't get some calls there and down the stretch, but he ends up with his 37, right? He was having a tremendous game. He put us up at 7. The moment he goes to the bench in the second quarter, guys, we end up giving 38 points, which is the highest in the game, right? And in return, we only scored 20. LeBron and Reaves sold this game, especially because they came out in that second quarter and were trash. Yeah, LeBron looks good at the end with 19 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, effort all over the place towards the end. But it was really how we set the tone in that second quarter that really cost us a game. Reeves was utter garbage. He was getting cooked defensively. It was a minus 25. Him and Rui both were garbage defensively. There might have to be a change in the starting lineup to get more defense in there, maybe so we can start guarding Ant one-on-one. Ant, even though he only had 22 points and didn't have a great shooting night, he dissected us. He had 9 assists. He got his guys wide open. This is the reason I was afraid of the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're very deep. They have a lot of size, which is our weakness. And, they're gonna give us hell this series. Here's the good news. Good news is if we're the team that I think we are, we're going to battle back and we're going to win this series. It's going to be longer than what I wanted it to be. I always predicted it would be a 6-game series. We have to definitely win the next game for sure and then take it from there, one game at a time. You can't get them all back, right? Got to win the next game. You have to play with the intensity of a game 7, right? Because we came out here lethargic, and that was another fear of mine was, hey, Lakers have had 9 days off, especially for older players like LeBron. I've been mentioning it all week. We might come out here slow, and that's what we did. LeBron got it going late, but it was too little too late. Austin was food defensively. He was biting on everything. It was definitely a very disappointing game for me, for Austin. I told you guys he was an X factor for us if we wanted to win. He was not a factor tonight, so very disappointed. Look, we got over 500 people in here. Let's get 450 likes, and I'll open up the phone lines. How about that? I know you guys want to be heard and you guys want to say your piece, so that's how we'll do it. 450 likes. Let me know, Kimiko. We get those. We'll turn on the phone lines. Sorry to your friend that missed out on 10K. Man, yeah, he really bit the bullet on that one. Sad part is he was able to cash out at 9K. He didn't take that opportunity, but it's a lesson. Sometimes we all have to learn the tough lessons, and I would have cashed out at 9K personally, but to each is their own, right? And he still ended up making $120, but it's really, he turned it down into 120. He missed out on a golden opportunity to get 10K. The Lakers, they had a good first quarter, and after that, we let go of the game. I think we have to allow Ant to get his and not let him bring everyone else along, because we can't have great games from everyone else trying to slow Ant down. Yeah, it's very similar to the Jokic situation where we would double and everybody else would feast off of that. I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. I do believe wholeheartedly that we have to play Ant one-on-one, live with the results. It's not like he can get 81 on us, right? He's no Kobe. So we have to guard him one-on-one. If he gets 50, so be it. Good luck getting the rest of the 50 from the rest. And offensively, we have to flow a lot better, man. Austin, I don't know why he was so tentative. Maybe because it was his first playoff game this year. But he looked like a rookie out there. He looked scared. And LeBron I'm not going to lie, he looked old tonight. All right. Now we get it. The groin has been bothering him. I'm sure he'll look a lot better throughout the series. I believe in LeBron still. But man, it's just a huge disappointment tonight. We dropped the ball, man. We dropped the ball. Let's see. Alex says, Dan, take some blame as well. You underestimated them. No, I did not. I never underestimated the Timberwolves. If you've been watching my channel, Alex, you will know that I've been saying the one team I didn't want to face in the first round, and everybody here's my witness, is the Minnesota Timberwolves, because we match up poorly with their size. And yeah, I still believe we're the better team, and I think we will win this series. But yeah, this was a horrible way to come out here. Just a disgusting way, Alex, to come out here. But I knew the Timberwolves were going to be a problem. Everybody kept saying Lakers in 5. I'm saying Lakers in 6. Okay, I believe it'll still be a 6-game series. God forbid it goes to 7. But it is very crucial that we win the next game. Very crucial right now, just to try to regain some momentum. Still, I don't believe there's too many teams out there that could beat us in a 7. I think we will make adjustments. I think next time LeBron, instead of having to pace himself, he will come out here more aggressive, setting the tone, because he makes a huge difference when he's aggressive, gets people in foul trouble, is able to shift the defense, and then, the rest of the shooters have to knock down shots. DFS missed tons of shots tonight. They all did. Rui had a great first quarter and then magically disappeared. Who would have thought, right? Rui having a great first quarter and then bam, just like that, he was done. Right. Meanwhile, look at them. 16 for Julius Randle, who I knew was going to be a problem, with 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He did have 7 turnovers and still ended up being plus on the plus minus. That speaks volumes to our poor defense tonight. 25 for Jaden McDaniels, fam. That cannot happen. 11 for 13 from the field. All right, going small ball is not working here. We're going to have to figure that out. 9 for Mike Conley. He also had 3 steals, 3 assists. Kind of a decent game for him. And like I already mentioned, and stats. 23 for Naz Reid. Another one I figured would give us problems. 23 with 5 rebounds off the bench. Guys, their bench is a problem. Dante DiVincenzo with 9. And that dagger 3 at the end of the half to keep pushing momentum in their favor. Just horrible, man. My guy said, Dan, Lakers will serve a gentleman's sweep. Lakers win 4-1. Hopefully. And I do wholeheartedly believe that if they make the right adjustments, we will win this series, no matter what the final outcome is. I just want to win, y'all. I just want to win. But tonight, Austin looked human. LeBron looked old. Luka was the only one that came out here with the offensive firepower, but defensively, he fell asleep on a couple of possessions as well, and all of that. CJ, I'm telling you, bro, I know the game of basketball, man, and when I look at these matchups, everybody in the West is tough. Yes, we know. When I look at the Timberwolves, they have the strengths where we have the weaknesses in the paint with the size. They have role players that are, I think, better than ours as far as the bench goes. With Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo by themselves, they're dynamic. They were very dangerous, and I was hoping to face the Clippers, the Warriors, anybody else in the first round, just before we start getting our legs under us, than this team, bro. So yeah, and then Magic came out and said what he said as well. So credit to him, but very tough team, man. I never underestimated this team, even when they were struggling early in the season and everybody had written them off. Told you guys, this trade in the long run will work for them because they got more depth. Okay, so to me personally, they look way better when they had Rudy Gobert off the floor, and that's another thing I've been saying. Timberwolves, if I was them, I would have traded Rudy Gobert, started Naz Reid with Julius Randle, went fully small, and embraced it. But having those 3 big men are really going to cause and wreak havoc. The way we're going to beat them, and I mentioned this, and the broadcaster said the exact same thing. Matter of fact, Julius Randle mentioned it. I said, if we really want to beat this team, we have to get stops defensively first and foremost, which we didn't do tonight. And secondly, we have to get out in transition. That's where we have the advantage over them. If we let their size settle in defensively, it's going to bother our passes, our shots, our layups, everything. So we cannot allow that, bro. And that's why I thought the Timberwolves were very dangerous. And I was right about that. Lakers game 6. Hopefully. But we got a lot of adjustments to do. This is where I want to see JJ Redick earn his stripes. I want to see, Nate McMillan, Scott Brooks, those guys that have been in the trenches help him through this and make the proper adjustments. I'm not opposed to benching Austin. I would say I'll let him play one more half in the starting lineup next game. But if he comes out like this, getting cooked defensively and not doing much offensively, he has to get benched in favor of like DFS or something. Somebody with more size just to bother Ant-Man a little bit more, right? Michael said, Dan, we should have never rescinded Mark Williams' trade. He would have made a big difference in this series. He didn't stay healthy, unfortunately, Michael. I appreciate the super chat, though, but he didn't stay healthy. We rescinded him because he was going to have health issues like Kawhi Leonard or worse early in his career. It's almost like the Bynum situation where he's got bad knees. And that's what happens at the end of the day. But, man, for those of you that were with me on playback, I lost my cool, y'all. My apologies, but it's the fan in me. It really is frustrating to know how much potential this Laker team have and to see us squander away home court advantage in game one. We can regain home court advantage if we win the next game and then win the next game after that or one of the two next road games. But just this is just the playoffs. You can't get games like these back. And we gave this game away in that second quarter. When Luka Doncic went to the bench, nobody else created offensively for us, and defensively we got shredded. You cannot have a 38 to 20 point quarter. You're going to lose the game 9 times out of 10 when that happens, right? With the 10th time being a miracle comeback. But I knew this game was over, man, from the moment they went on that stupid run. And then they compounded that and went on another stupid, crazy run in the second half, in the third quarter. Those dreaded third quarters tend to kill us. And then the game was really over then, Motorsport Vault says, if we're going to not give a F about home court, we should have just rested at the end of the regular season. See, that's just the thing. We've been terrible on the road. We had to do what we had to do and took care of home court. We lost it, but there's still a chance we can get it back. I still believe in this team. One game is not going to change my opinion. Remember, it's a 7-game series, which means potentially, right? Which means we have the experience, the veteran leadership, and the coaching to make the proper adjustments and come back stronger next game. This is where we got to see what we're made of, man. Because if we can't get past the Timberwolves, we have no business advancing in the playoffs. And there's a lot more work to be done in the offseason if that's the case. That would be an insane disappointment. But I believe we're still the better team. I believe we will bounce back nicely and get them here the next game. And hopefully the game after that as well to regain momentum, right? It's tough, though, man. They have a mental edge over us right now because they dominated us from that second quarter and beyond. And now they're thinking, oh, we got this. LeBron's old now. They're thinking Austin is not really him. They're thinking Luka can get 40, but he's not going to make an impact. They're thinking Jackson Hayes is food. What did Jackson Hayes have tonight? He was a non-factor for us. Jackson Hayes had 1 point, 3 rebounds. You're not going to win like that. Their starting center has 1 point. Forget about what Rudy Gobert did, right? Because Rudy Gobert had what? He had 2 points. But, at least he could block shots and be a rim protector and do the little things there. But we played to the Timberwolves' strengths for sure. He said, playing the T-Wolves are good for us, though. It will force us to play our best basketball. Like I said, this is either going to do one of two things. He's either going to kill us or it's going to make us better, right? One or the other. It's either going to make us or it's going to break us. Okay, now the Lakers have 2 options here. They can fold and say, well, they're just younger, better, hungrier than us, and then lose the series. Or they can improve, look within themselves, and individually get better, and then play as a collective unit. I felt like tonight we didn't play as a team. There was a lot of individuality going on, a lot of one-on-ones. Yes, Luka was cooking early, but we ended up with only 15 assists. 15 assists, y'all. That is not a recipe for success. If you can look at the stats here on the bottom, 15 assists compared to 29 that they had. They doubled us in assists. Okay, usually the team that moves the rock and trust each other, that's the team that's going to get the win 9 times out of 10. So it's the little things like that, man. We did a lot of one-on-one and it didn't work. There was some times when LeBron drove, you got Rudy Gobert sitting in the paint. You didn't even pump fake him. You just get blocked. Rui did the same thing a couple of times. Can't do that. And now that leads to momentum going the other way and buckets coming back the other way. You know what I mean? So you can't have that, y'all. A lot of adjustments have to be made. We really have to consider benching one of Rui or Austin, if not both, just to have more size out there in the perimeter and have more scrappy players that can get after Ant. We have more than enough scoring with Luka by himself. If LeBron, decides to join the party and Rui, then we'll be good. But, we're We need more production off the bench, and we need more defensive production in the starting unit. He said LeBron was waking up out of his cryogenic sleep in the first quarter. I figured, guys. I mentioned this to you guys. I said my biggest fear is the Lakers will come out slow because we've been off for 9 days. We got older players like LeBron. That's what happened. Don't worry, guys. The life found on distant planet this week is just life being drained out of me currently. Bro, this was here's the worst part about losing this game here tonight, right? We had a fun time watching those other games and those other teams we don't like lose. And then bam, there goes our weekend ruined. Not only that, but the Lakers don't play till what, Tuesday? Right? So we gotta wait all this time and wait for the Lakers to come back and hopefully play better. It's like, oh man, like why they gotta do us like that, right? That's very disappointing. My guy said free Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect might not get many minutes unless it's garbage time. To be honest, he's stuck with an 8-man rotation, which he's been, Coach JJ Redick has been speaking of that he was gonna stick with, and that's what he's been going with. So, unfortunately, I don't know. Young Elder respectfully disagree, man. He said Luka Ball doesn't work in the playoff. Without Luka Ball, we would have been blown up by 30, fam. All right, because we were up 7. It was working in the first quarter. As soon as he went to the bench, that's when Austin Reaves and LeBron had to pick it up. We've done that versus the Thunder when we beat them. We've done that in other games during the regular season, but this is the playoffs. And Austin shrunk, LeBron shrunk at the wrong time, and at the end of the day, it just wasn't good enough. Meanwhile, Ant and his supporting cast definitely they helped out. Ant only had 22, but he had a guy that had 25 in Jaden McDaniels. He had 23 from Naz Reid. That was the biggest difference. It wasn't the star players in this one. It was the other guys. But Luka did his thing. I can't even critique Luka. He did his thing offensively. He had us up 7 in the first quarter. That was our biggest lead of the ball game. It wasn't until he went out the guys looked clueless. All right. LeBron missing shots. Austin missing shots. Everybody else. I don't agree with the ball dominant thing because good things happen when he has the ball. Good things happen. We're now at this point, we're looking for the scapegoat, in my opinion. And there's not one scapegoat here. It has to be done by committee. If you want to look for a scapegoat, you have to look at the coaching not being able to adapt and to put a defender on Ant. Therefore, we don't have to double team him and leave wide open shooters. That should be the adjustment. So I would put this one on the coaching staff for sure. People are misled by the media. The Lakers are a young team. Only LeBron is old. We can match up with youth. Yes, but where we struggle here is in the paint. Okay, let me tell you why I didn't want the Timberwolves. It's not because I don't think we could beat them. We could definitely beat them. But it's because of the work I knew it was going to take for us to beat them. Look at the rebounds, guys. 33 to 25. We gave up 11 offensive rebounds. Points in the paint. Points in the paint. 44 to 32 by 12. 3-pointers. We lost every category to this team. Every single category. That's not going to happen every night. We gave up 21 3-pointers. We only hit 15. Think about that. Free throws. That's the only place where we won. But they ended up with how many free throws? And actually, we won that department. But again, it's unfortunate, and they're so physical and so big and so gifted that is the reason I wanted to avoid them at least for the first round. This is a very dangerous team. Make no mistake. They're dangerous. Don't let the media and mainstream and everybody fool you. These guys, they want all the smoke, and they feel like they can beat us now. They feel that. So it's up to the Lakers to take that confidence away in game 2. And we owe them a whoop ass. But what I mean by that is that I don't even care we win by 30 or 20 or 10. I mean, we need to control the tempo from beginning to end. I thought that's what was going to happen tonight. We got off to a good start in the first quarter. Luka ball was working. It's when we went away from that. And we went with LeBron ball. He looked rusty. We went with Austin Reaves ball. He looked scared for the first time. I've never seen him like this in a playoff game. He looked scared. It's almost like you're finally not an underdog in a playoff series and you played down to the competition. It sucks, man. It sucks. It is what it is. I had the Warriors fan making fun of me, and I had to remind them that I mourned their loss against the Clips because I wanted to play them so bad. They choked us into a tougher matchup. Yeah, bro. Yeah, big time. Don't worry about Warrior fans. They're here today, gone tomorrow. All right. As soon as Kobe retires, as soon as Curry retires, they're going to be looking for a new team. And that's the one thing ish I have never disrespected the the Timberwolves team. I'll tell you, that's the one of the few teams in the West that I felt like had the horses to really compete versus us. Everybody here is my witness. They will know. I know what Ant and crew can do for sure. And it's the one team I wanted to avoid. I'd rather prefer the Warriors or the Clippers or the Nuggets. Those are teams I wanted to face instead. But I'll tell you what, if we play with the same effort we did in that second quarter and third quarter that we did tonight, we would have lost versus almost any team in the West the way we played tonight. We kind of beat ourselves. The bench didn't show up either. You're right about that, young elder. The bench has to be better. But this is why, if you're Coach JJ Redick, you might really have to get into your bag on this one. You might have to look at roster lineup adjustments and tweaks. I already suggested a couple earlier in the post game. This is what I was worried about. I had a bad feeling. I would have been more confident had we not had home court advantage. Really? Nah. For me, it's not even that. It's just the fact that it's a mismatch. We're thin in the front line. They're thick in the front line. We we had 9 days off. Usually when the Lakers have 9 days off, we look rusty at some point. We looked a lot better in the fourth quarter, but it was just too little too late. We really made that run when Ant got quote unquote hurt, when he got the cramp or whatever. And that was that. But look, the bench was 43-10. Their bench outscored us by 33 points. This is why I would consider bringing Austin Reaves off the bench. And I've been saying this since we acquired Luka. Luka and LeBron start alongside DFS, alongside Rui, and alongside Jackson Hayes. And you bring in Austin off the bench as a primary ball handler with Gabe Vincent, with the rest of the bench, with Vando and those guys. And I think it would give you a little bit more of a balance. I think it gives you a little bit more of a balance. Let's see. Can they shoot like that again? Let me tell you something. The whole NBA, fam, has been shooting like this against us because sometimes we give up wide open threes. We got to change that tactic. We got to communicate with each other. We got to play more one-on-one. We got a lot of length and size to be able to contest shots one-on-one. But, again, the starting lineup could be better. Let's see. It gives us a chance to settle in. We only need to win one of the first 2 games to get home court. Now we pile a lot of pressure on if we don't win both. Would have made games one mean less and gave us time. The thing is, we're not the underdogs. We have to stop having an underdog mentality. We are the favorites to win the series. Even now, I promise you, we're still the favorites. However, if they continue this, if they do this one more game, then all of a sudden momentum shifts. If we lose both home games, now you panic. Because now you have to go and you have to win 2 road games just to get back in the series, right? So right now, what I'm saying? We took a knockout punch. We hit the canvas. We're on one knee. The countdown has started, and we're getting up. It's only the first blow, though. Everybody knows the boxer can get right back into the match. That's where the Lakers are right now, right? Now, we lose the next game, God forbid, but if we lose the next game, now we hit the canvas for a second time, and now we're going to struggle to get up. The countdown is almost to 10 if that happens. That would be doomsday scenario, and the Lakers would have to reach really deep within. And we've seen LeBron do it. Can he still do it at 40 at his age? He looked a little bit older tonight, but we know he can turn up sometimes. TBD. There's going to be adjustments. That's the beautiful thing about a 7-game series. Adjustments have to be made. This is where coaching matters. This is why we got JJ instead of Ham. What can he make? What adjustments can he make? LeBron was like the Flash on that block, and his head was at the rim. It was an impressive block. That was definitely the best play he had all game, and that's not a good thing. When Luka goes to the bench, either Austin or LeBron have to carry the load. They do. Austin doesn't want to come off the bench. He'll request a trade. I doubt it. Austin is selfless. He's done it before, by the way. If he keeps getting cooked defensively, he'll want to come off the bench to help the team as best as he can. We really lost this game in the second quarter, man. Again, giving up 38 points is ridiculous at home. Can't do that. Our defense has to be better, and he was a huge part of the defensive liability. So was LeBron, and so was Rui. But again, I don't always look at this statistic because it doesn't always tell the story. But the plus-minus sometimes does tell the story. And if you look at the Lakers plus-minus, Rui Hachimura was minus 26. That means that most likely his position was getting wide open shots, which they were. He was constantly helping on Austin. LeBron was minus 22. Okay, so that means he was getting cooked sometimes as well by Julius Randle. He fell asleep on a couple of those switches. Jackson Hayes was minus 11, but he only played 8 minutes. He didn't play much tonight. 12 for Luka Doncic in 40 minutes, and minus 25 for Austin Reaves. So the biggest plus minus was Austin Reaves and Rui. We really have to look at that. Both of those guys have to give us more energy and effort. Yeah, Jay, I feel bad for him too, man. But sometimes we got to make the right decisions, and we'll learn from them, you know? He had a chance to cash out on 9K. Hopefully he learns from that and gets better from it. It was the first LeBron-led lineup that sold the game. However, I call cap on LeBron's defense being bad. He was great on defense. He actually showed effort on D2. In the second half, he was much better. First half, him, Rui, and Austin kept falling asleep. Go back and watch the game. They gave up tons of threes. The communication was off. It's a team thing, but he wasn't great on defense. Second half, he was much better. Second quarter, he had to block and all of that. But in the second half, he was much better. It was just too little too late. You know, the phantom runs they had, that only happened due to the fact that Ant-Man, you know, went out with them for a little bit. That's it. JJ said they didn't do anything schematically that beat us. It was all effort. I thought we looked perfectly fine versus the size in the first quarter. He said, I'd also bet against them making 23s more times. I feel good. We are the better team for sure. However, JJ has to worry about the size. The size is going to impact us in the series. If he continues going small and he doesn't figure out a way to kind of throw out more wings out there, because we have more size with the wings. Wings have to be impactful, though. They have to make shots, too. I'm talking DFS. He missed some wide-open threes tonight. Rui missed some wide-open threes. But defensively, they have to step up big time, you know. They have to step up big time on both ends of the floor, all right, because their wings outplayed ours, period. And we can't have that happening. Jaden McDaniels can have 25 points. Julius Randle, he's not a wing technically, but he kind of plays like one. 16 points. 22 for Anthony Edwards. Our wings, Rui, 9 points. LeBron James, 19 points. Right? Who else? Who else is a wing? I guess you can call Austin Reaves a wing or whatever, 2 guard. 16 points, right? And then off the bench, 23 for Naz Reid is just detrimental. Detrimental to this team. Detrimental, man. He said, nobody is taking this loss the proper way. Everyone is overreacting or completely underreacting and completely disregarding the loss. Cannot disregard the loss. It is troubling that we lost home court. However, the series is not over. I've stick by this, and I said this before we went into the series. I didn't like this matchup for us. I think they'll give us some fits. For sure, they'll win some games. I'm not surprised they won this game. That's why I'm not panicking yet. I'm not breaking shit right now because – you know what I'm saying? They won a game, but they got to win 4 to advance. The Lakers have 3 lives left. I like our chances. I still like our chances. I think LeBron will be much better. I think Austin will be much better. I think the role players have to be much better. Luka, we know what Luka did. He showed us playoff Luka tonight. We know what he does. You know, that's light. But for me, the coaching is where I want to see the adjustments. I want to see the rotations be better. I want to see better matchups against Ant, a better game plan. Stop doubling them. Stop leaving wide open shooters. Stop gambling. All of that. You know, once we do that, we'll be fine. Solo said, terrible showing tonight. We need to show more effort next game. But how many times have we said this season? We've said it a lot. We've been up and down this year. It's been a roller coaster ride. The playoffs will be no different, which is why I told you guys, man, I'm really enjoying my 1-week vacation. I know I'm going to be stressed out during the playoffs. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It is the Western Conference after all. So appreciate you, Kimmy Goat. You know, it's the way the cookie crumbles. When DFS doesn't hit shots, we lose. It's that simple. Same thing with Rui, man. Rui only had 9 points. When Rui plays a lot better, when he's dropping 18 points, 20 plus, we win most of those. It's our wings. Our wings are the key for sure. I've been saying it. They have us in the paint. We have to have them in the perimeter. If they have us in the paint and in the perimeter like they did tonight, we have no shot. They have us in the paint. We have to have them in the perimeter. Vice versa. If they have us in the perimeter, we have to have them in the paint. All right? And in order to compete and win these games. I still like our talent. Again, I mentioned before the series started, there was no way that Austin and LeBron were going to have off games consistently. Maybe one game here and there. Here's your first game, one game. Crucial that they step up big time on the next couple of games. You know, both of those players. I thought aside from a couple of late rotations, LeBron had a good defensive game. The current version of the team asks a lot of him. He's got to be a two-way monster to give us 25 nightly. I saw him fall asleep a couple of times defensively, to be honest. I didn't think he had a great defensive game. I thought he had a great defensive block in a couple of highlights, but overall, his game, he was minus 22 on the plus minus. 19 points and then getting cooked sometimes. He did have 3 blocks. So, again, but that effort came mostly in the second half. We had already lost all momentum in that first half. That first half was an atrocity from a couple players. He was one of them. You can offset that with big scoring, Austin games, but you can when AR is off. Yeah, that's what I said, man. If AR is not going to give us offensive, like I said, I would leave him in the starting lineup for one more half. If he comes out here and he has like 15 points at the half the next game, we're good. You know, he can do that. He can fill it up in bunches. But if he comes out here the same way he did this game, he looks scared. He doesn't want to shoot. He's settling for Curry range threes instead of attacking and crossing people over. Like I said, he's the X factor for me. Him and Rui to a degree are the X factors, but especially Austin, because Austin has the ability to flip the defense on his head and manipulate defenses, similar to how Ant-Man did it tonight. And we needed him to do that when Luka went to the bench. LeBron is older. He'll give us maybe 1 elite quarter, 3 subpar ones. If he can give us 2 elite quarters, we're winning those games. But AR has to be a lot better, man. Today, he disappointed me. And he's one of my favorite players, but tonight, disappointed me. Motorsports Val says, I never get excited about Laker ball anymore. I'm just asking to be heartbroken. Glad I got to see LeBron before he declined. 47, 10, and 9 when I saw him. I get excited about Laker ball. It's been an up and down season. It hasn't been easy. Injuries, trades, everything, new coaching staff, everything factors into it. We'll be a lot better next year, but we've already won this season. Regardless of whatever happens, I told you guys that Luka trade is special. It'll benefit this team for years to come. So, you know, it is what it is, man. But I will say, just a disappointing overall game from everybody but Luka, to be honest with you. I didn't think anybody really stepped up and had a tremendous game. And there's going to be apologists that want to make excuses for certain players. But I'll tell you right now, Rui, shitty game. All right, both defensively and offensively. 9 points, 3 for 9 from the field. LeBron, for his standards, shitty game. If he was an average player, 19 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 5 rebounds on 8 for 18 shooting and 1 for 5 from beyond the arc. Great game. But by his standards, shitty game. Let's be honest. We expect more from LeBron James. Jackson Hayes, 1 point. He only played 8 minutes. He was playing like trash. He couldn't even catch lobs. Shitty game. Luka Doncic was the only one that had 37 points on 12 for 22, 5 for 10, 8 for 9. Can we agree that I was right about him taking the reins from this team moving forward in the playoffs? I said in the playoffs, I think is when he's going to put his stamp as it officially being his team. There you go. There you have it. He's putting his stamp already. Can he please get some help, though? All right, Austin Reaves, 16 points on 5 for 13 from the field. Shitty game. Sorry. 2 turnovers to go with that. Minus 25 on the plus minus. Crappy defense. Shitty game. Our bench, super shitty game. 3 points by Dorian Finney-Smith, 3 points by Gabe Vincent, and 2 points by Jared Vanderbilt. Super shitty game, y'all. 5 for Dalton connecting garbage time. Doesn't count. So we have a lot of improvement. That's the good news, right? We'll be all right. I don't expect all of those players to have shitty games moving forward. Otherwise, our season will be done, right? But, yeah, we've been getting cooked by teams that are young and hungry like the Timberwolves, which is, again, why I did not want to face off versus them in the first round. However, when we survive this series and we advance, this will make us stronger. That's the only upside about this. Hopefully we're healthy. We don't get hurt because it's very physical series. They got players like Randall throwing his body weight around. It's very physical. Right, it's going to be physical moving forward. So hopefully we improve. We said that plus minus mostly because LeBron and AR couldn't score in that second quarter. Go back and watch the game. There was a lot of possessions when they were communicating. They gave a wide open 3 after wide open 3. Luka did too, but Luka made up for it with his offense. And he also had a couple of steals. But overall, the communication rotations defensively from everyone was really, really weak all game long. I would love for them to get a rhythm in the first quarter. LeBron didn't tweak his groin in Houston. He suffered a left hip flexor strain. LeBron's getting older, and it's to be expected he's not going to be the same beast every quarter and every game. He'll have his moments, though, and he will be our second best player after Luka for sure offensively. But he'll have his moments. Like a great moment was when he got that chase down block. That was great. You know, we'll have little reminder moments of how great he is, and he'll have amazing quarters. I'm sure during the playoffs, he'll have a quarter probably when he goes for 20 or 18 or something like that. So, but hopefully those come in a timely manner and not when we're already getting blown out. That's the key, right? I think this series and moving forward in the playoffs, it'll tell us a lot about the team we have and what we need to improve on in the offseason. So that is the good side of things, right? D3 said it's very hard for Luka to have a bad game. He has the ball so much and shoots so much that he almost falls into 25-7-7 game easily. Kind of crazy to watch. He's a special talent, man. He's a special talent. We're lucky to have him. That's why we brought him here. We know LeBron's getting older. We know LeBron can't be the same guy. I don't want to hear that, he doesn't get the ball as much as Hughes. LeBron told Luka to handle that rock. So we brought Luka to do this, and he did his part. Everybody else got to chip in. No excuses. Right? Dan, I'm upset how Reaves played. Oh, me too. But I hope that he got out the worst game. I hope that this game motivates him to come out a freaking dog, because that's how he's gonna. They're getting after him. They got a lot of size. They're gonna throw. Apparently, they took him out of the game completely, because I thought he was gonna have the mismatch, but I did see Jaden McDaniels guarding him. Maybe they feel like they can guard LeBron with Julius now because he's older. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, he's going to have to cook. He's going to have to change pace, draw fouls, get to the free throw line, play make for his teammates, and just be an absolute dog on the defensive end, which he can be. Tonight he wasn't. He didn't have that feistiness, right? Take charges, all that. Yeah, just be absolutely. We talked about it, and they are a threat. It's not going to be easy, but here we are, down one game in the playoff series. We need more ball movement. We need more better coaching, better rotations, better everything for sure. See, I'm not going to go to this extreme either. He said, get rid of LeBron. We don't get to 50 wins without LeBron this season. Okay, same thing with Luka. We need both of those players to have a chance at a championship. You get rid of LeBron, you might as well start looking for another superstar, and it might take a couple years. The one-man show won't cut it. Who cares about the stats? It won't cut it, but we need Luka to go off. We need LeBron to join him with at least 20-plus every night and some solid defense. We need Austin to do the same. It's not about having a one-man show. Luka is a very willing passer, but the team just didn't have it going. Luka had plenty of passes where guys should have knocked down shots, and they didn't knock it down, Elder. This is definitely not on Luka. I don't get how people are trying to twist it into Luka because he holds the ball a lot. He had 37 points, shot 50% from the field. They don't get more efficient than that. I agree with a lot of your points, but as far as I do agree with the ball movement, but let's be honest, guys. Early when we were moving the ball and guys were missing shots, you don't get assists out of that. It hurts the bottom line. But yeah, I agree. I don't want to see hero ball. What I want to see is, guys sharing the rock, getting involved, moving. But I think it's gonna start with defense. If we can get stops, get on transition, that's when you're going to get all the assists, all the pretty plays, the lobs, the wide open threes, all of that, So it's definitely defense. They had Ant on Austin. Also, Julius is about the right size for somebody you need to guard LeBron, because in the half court, LeBron does not have the same first step that he used to. And that's the key. I thought they were going to put Jalen McDaniels or some different defender on LeBron. So when LeBron has Julius, he has to cook him. Otherwise, they'll have better defenders on the other players, right? Jaden McDaniels was on Luka. Luka did his thing. I also mentioned the switch-ups. Whenever we matched up and Luka got the switch that got Rudy Gobert out on him, cooked him, just like I predicted. And, we need to do that. We need to switch more pick and rolls and stuff like that. But I think Minnesota's going to adjust next game. They're going to try to take Luka out of the game. I don't think they'll give him the same looks. And that's when Lucas will be passing, trusting his teammates, and they got to knock it down. As simple as that. You knock down your shots, you get more. 6 transition points, man. That's what I'm saying. We didn't have enough. That is a huge key. We have to have a better transition game, but that's also because we didn't get a lot of defensive stops. I thought they got really hot, and I think you could expect the exact same for mostly any other team you left as well. So we'll need to play better. I generally think that shooting was fake. We'll see. I think, like you said, anybody can get hot if you give up so many wide open looks. They broke us down. There's no way we can discredit them. They broke us down defensively. They dribble, drive, penetrated, and they hit the shooters and they hit the shots. Congratulations, but the next game will be a different story. We'll see. Appreciate you, Kimmy Goat. Thank you for all your work today. Thank you so much. Hey Dan, too much Luca defending Anthony. Luca has a good size, so it's tough for guys like Anthony Edwards to get over the top. We cannot have Austin Reaves on him, right? And it is just an absolute beast, right? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Lakers need to adjust. We will. We will adjust. How quickly we'll adjust, we'll see. TBD. I want to see what the coaching staff is made of. Now's your time to shine, JJ. He's going to have a lot of film to look over and to show to his team. And let's see what type of adjustments. I mean, this is why I love basketball. I want to see the adjustments being made here. And I want to see a different ball club come Tuesday, Tuesday night. We need Bron AR also bringing Gogurt out to the deep end and drown as well. Yeah, man, they did a great job of doing that early in the first quarter. Minnesota adjusted. They kind of went smaller because Rudy Gobert kind of got an early foul trouble, and they cooked us when they went small. Cooked us, man. This is the same defensive strategy we've used against other teams with bigs. We always leave one person open by design. Tonight, they hit them and that swung it. I don't think this was not by design, man. We overhelped because Austin was getting cooked because guys were getting cooked in the paint. We overhelped and they rotated and they moved us. This was not us giving up those open shots on purpose. They fell asleep a couple of times on the rotations. It was all bad. And then you cannot give wide open shots to guys like Naz Reid. They're going to knock them down, right? They're going to knock them down. Also got switches, and LeBron was trying to attack Gobert at the rim. That's just not good process. It works for Luka because he does the step backs. LeBron stopped doing those. LeBron will be fine. I know LeBron will be fine. This wasn't the LeBron game at all, unfortunately. He needs to figure out another way to be effective because they're going to take away the straight line drives. They're going to put pressure at the rim. And now he doesn't have the same lift where he can elevate and hammer. So he might have to drive and kick and trust his teammates to knock down shots. That might have to be the new strategy. He's always been good at doing that, so I'm not too concerned by it. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Jonathan, my guy, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. He said, Wolves broke playoff record for threes with 19. Not going to happen again. We will bounce back. Without AR and Bron, we can't win. DFS needs to hit his open shots. Yeah, I have no doubt, bro, that we can bounce back for sure. I have no doubt. Again, it's a 7-game series. Disappointing the way we lost it, I think, more than the fact that we actually lost. The fact that they, from the second quarter on, they dominated us. We never took the lead or even came close after that. That gives them a little bit of a mental edge. So I didn't like that. But again, this is why we pay the coaching staff the big bucks. Let's see what type of adjustments they make and how they come out the next game. They have to, right? But yeah, I mean, Minnesota's no joke. I hope that everybody can see my vision now. The reason I was throwing caution to the wind with this team. They're no joke, right? No excuses. They beat us. They dominated us. And that's that. You know, even if you take some of those threes, they still would have beat us. They shot lights out because they got those shots. They playmate, created those, and the effort was there for them. Everything was better. Everything was better for Minnesota tonight. And there was a lot of times we gave up second chance points and rebounds. And that's largely, and due to the lack of fundamentals boxing out, but also the lack of size. We have a lot of lack of size in this team. We go small, and they have 3 bigs in the front court that really can cook, on the rebound on the glass. So let's see. At the end of the day, we still play the exact same rotation. I won't like that. If we go down with the exact same rotation, I won't like that at all. Because I always wanted a coach who can make adjustments. I would like to see an adjustment at some point. If it works the next game and with this rotation, so be it. But if we go down 2-0, there has to be an adjustment. Matter of fact, if we go down at the half, there has to be an adjustment at the half. That stubbornness is what got Darvin Ham fired. We don't want the same for JJ. I'm not sure every 3 was by design, not the Nas ones, but McDaniels ones were 100% on purpose. Nas been killing us since I can remember, man. Nas Reid we have to have him on the scouting report because, man. Hey, this is true. Faith, this is absolutely true, and this was one of my fears as well. We had a long 9-day period that we didn't play a single game of basketball, and it showed, especially in that first half. It showed, and in the third. Thank you so much, Kimiko. Appreciate you. But yeah, guys, look, at the end of the day, we lose 117-95. It wasn't pretty. First quarter was the only good quarter we had. After that, we lost every single quarter. And yeah, that definitely gives them the momentum. They destroyed our home court advantage. We have to work to get that back. And hopefully we can finish the series in 6. That is my goal still. That was my goal before the series started, and it'll be my goal now. I think we can. I think we can hold them to only 2 wins maximum. But let's see. TBD, right? To be determined. Guys, that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is, again, discouraging. Don't nobody want to see these type of post games because we're losing winnable games here, and it wasn't even close, man. And we really let the fan base down tonight. But we will bounce back. I still believe we have a better team. I believe our coaching staff will make the proper adjustments, hopefully. And I believe Austin Reaves and LeBron won't have shitty games the next couple of games. At least that's my beliefs, okay? Thank you guys so much again. This video was brought to you and sponsored by Prize Picks. So make sure you guys tap in. Thank you to Kimmy Goat here for posting the link. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Hate Watch. Warriors versus Rockets. Of course, we're rooting for the Rockets in that series. Let's see what happens. It'll be interesting. For those of you that haven't, make sure to download Playback. It's been a blast. It's growing on the daily. You guys don't want to stay back. Download Playback. We got more VIP passes to watch along. So we do all that, and including some gaming. So a lot of fun over there, guys. Don't miss out. I will see you guys on the next one, though. Have a great rest of your night. Peace.